512. It feels so good to be back outside again.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
it feels so good. So, just glad that everybody's tuning in with us tonight. We have a lot to talk about, so just wanted to dive straight in. So I'm gonna do another mic check because he's still adjusting the mic. So give me like 2 seconds. Mic check.
Mic check.
In case anybody don't know, who maybe just in route passing, but this is West Lindsay. My brother Tyrone West was brutally executed on July the 18th, 2013. And for going on 10 years, we've been fighting nonstop, but not just for my big brother Tyrone West, but literally for all the victims of police brutality. So a victim is a victim, and it's just really sad. There's a lot of stuff that's happening in our city right now, and I'm really sad about the latest shooting of a teenager, and I'm going to bring my sister Adina on to talk about it. Mic check.
Mic check.
Just want to say a few things about Makai Franklin shooting. Um, Detective Cedric Ellaby is the one who gave chase and was and you know was in pursuit of him when he literally shot him in the back. Um, my comments are just basically about the media and how they perpetuate the police narrative all the time. Like we know that for a fact from Tyrone's case, but the police generally hand the media their narrative, and then they go and they say like they demonize the victims. And yeah, the young man did have a gun on him, like it's clear in the video. But Harrison comes on and he says, um, Detective Ellaby was doing things according to his training. So basically admitting they are trained to shoot a fleeing person in their back. In the back. He wasn't facing Detective Ellaby with the gun. He was clearly running away, and Ellaby couldn't catch him, and he shot him in the back. So he lost, I believe, a kidney and a spleen. He's been upgraded to stable condition. And more what I want to talk about is that Detective Ellaby, you could see in some of the camera footage, especially when he's sitting on the stoop, you could see the white unmarked vehicle that they're now using for these district action teams, DAT, district action teams. They're basically jump out boys. They're in indescript white vehicles, just pulling up. That vehicle was in the middle of the street. It wasn't pulled over. It wasn't parked. It was in the middle of the street. They jump out, and apparently they had been doing this to this young man and his friends for days. Knowing when they were getting out of school, they were jumping out on them, sitting them on the stoop. There's actual prior camera footage from the police officers of this young man sitting on the stoop next to his friend. So that corroborates the family story that he's being, he was being targeted and he was being, and he probably felt unsafe because let's just put it out there. District Action Team is supposedly like a new reimagined thing, but it's just rebranded GTTF. They did not disband the GTTF, they rebranded it. And that's what it is. So that's what we need. We need to keep all of this in mind. That, not believe the media narrative because that's fed to them by the police. And of course, they're out there to demonize victims. And also to just like keep in mind that the police department, Baltimore Police Department, is not doing anything different. Nothing. Nothing different from 2013. Nothing different from 2015. Nothing different from 2020. They're doing the exact same thing. They just keep rebranding. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. And that's all they doing because before with the gun trace task force, it was named the Fit Investigation Task Force. And all they doing, like my sister said, changing the name. It's the same game, they're changing the name. And meanwhile, people are getting injured, tortured, and all types of things, and nothing is happening. And then you have the commissioner. Shame on him. He always come out as this mouthpiece of saying stuff like just using these words like this won't be transparent, and none of that stuff is transparent. And then the thing that really bothered me was the fact of how they muted that video for a whole entire minute and a half. You couldn't even hear what that officer was saying to him. And that's very important when you have somebody that's harassing somebody. You need to hear the words. All they did was just focus in on what they wanted us to see, and that was him getting gunned down, shot from the back. That is utterly ridiculous. It's sad, and it just keeps happening over and over again. And that is why we've been out here now for 10 years, and we're not going nowhere. Until this system changes, we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. It's just a dirty system that just rebrands things, that try to calm us. It's sad. It's disgusting. You know, it's really sad. We're in some sad times, and nobody's going to save us. We have to save ourselves, unfortunately.
Yes.
But I wanted to bring my sister Nicole up. She, y'all done met her numerous times, but we're out here in person, so I'm going to pass her the mic. Mic check.
Mic check.
How y'all doing? And for y'all that don't know me, I'm Nicole Pettiford. I am the daughter-in-law of Anthony Anderson and the mother of Ajay Harad. In 2012, my father-in-law was beat to death by the Baltimore City Police Department. He had a ruptured spleen, blunt force trauma to the head, broken ribs, and everything. It just didn't make any sense. And 2 weeks later, they set my daughter up. She had witnessed a murder. And instead of them calling me, her father, or an attorney to be present, they took my daughter down for questioning at 16 years old. And they rendered my daughter as a snitch. And they put a bullet in her head and they killed her. Enough is enough. We have got to do something about this. Because if we don't stand for something, we're going to fall for anything. These politicians out here blowing smoke about hind parts, telling us what they think we want to hear, just until they get into office. And when they get in office, they forget all about us like they never even knew we exist. So it's up to us to change things, because they're not going to change it for us. Mic check.
Mic check.
And let's not forget about Darnell Rochester. His poor mom has to struggle and protest every single week, just like we're doing. And she protests literally every Thursday or Tuesday, but she protests in front of the state attorney's office every single week. And it's just sad, like, it's just disgusting. Like, we need accountability for all the victims. Darnell Rochester, all the victims. The past, the before, all the victims. Everybody needs, it's the same way, like, if we do anything, they hold us accountable with no questions asked. No questions asked, but then they'll turn right around, and they always get a free willy pass. And then for the commissioner to say, oh, he was engaged, and that's what I want to see. He wasn't engaging. That's called stop and frisk. Sit down on the curb, I'm going to violate all your rights. And then when his friend was talking trash to him, making a man get out the route, he couldn't take it. And that's what bullies do. He couldn't take it. And for the fact that the young man didn't even have the weapon out, and I guess he was in the video, it looked like to me as he was trying to run and probably as a teenager, let me throw it. So I won't get caught on it, but he didn't pull it. But meanwhile, when they shut down the county for a man that shot somebody, like, you can murder people and get away with it. And so depending on who they're chasing, it depends on your skin color.
Yes.
And that's disgusting.
Yes.
That is disgusting. We see white criminals do worse crimes, some of mass terrorists that murder people. And then yesterday, let's not forget the commemoration of when we had elderly people and people in the supermarket gunned down in cold blood. Did they kill a killer? No. Did they shoot him in the back? No. Did they shoot that white young crazy maniac that went inside of a church, stealing root in his back? No. They walked into accountability, put a bulletproof vest on him, and gave him a burger. It is sick and disgusting, but until we change the system, to change. Mike check. So I want to bring my sister Linda on. She wanted to share some new information or some information about a victim, I believe, of police brutality. Mike check.
Mike check.
Hi, folks. I came up from Prince George's County to let people know about what's been going on after the murder of William Green. This happened in January 2020, and when there was a certain amount of activity, yeah, and when there was a certain amount of activity because of the murder of George Floyd. There was a lot going on, and when William Green was sitting in his car after there'd been some sort of car accident, he was asleep in his car essentially. The cops came, they put him in the cruiser, they belted him and handcuffed him, and then they shot him 6 times in front of the cruiser. And this really was so egregious that they actually charged him with murder. And he's been in jail since then, but they keep hoping that people will forget about this, right? Because his trial hasn't happened yet. There's been no trial since all that time. The trial is currently set for sometime in November. But right now, what they want to do is take the case out of Prince George's County, where we have some activity around police brutality, where the family has been very active, where the community justice group in Prince George's County has been very active, and we've been going to the courthouse pretty regularly, and they keep continuing the discussion so that nothing ever happens. They just hope that we will stop showing up. This is one of their tactics. We have a chance to put this guy away, but they keep, dragging it out. So on May 25th, there's going to be yet another hearing around the question of moving his case from Prince George's County to somewhere else, so that the jury will not be the people who know what's been going on with the crooked cops in the county. So if people are interested, they can come down to this hearing on the 25th, but it's also valuable to just think about spreading the word about this case, because we've been fighting here in Baltimore to get these cops even indicted, right? And, here we have a chance to actually have a trial. And if we don't organize and keep pushing the envelope on this, they're going to try to just bury the case. So if anybody has any questions about that, I'd be happy to answer them. Nikki Owens is his cousin, and she's a real fighter. And she's been on West Wednesday, I think, a couple times probably. And I'm going to try to get Tawanda to bring her back so we can keep this case in front of people. Thank you.
Mike check.
Yeah, sure.
Since you're from Prince George's County, what do you think about Also Brooks running for Senate?
Well, Also Brooks is not our friend in the community justice group. Brave Boy is her attorney, state's attorney person. And it is true that Brave Boy charged this guy, so that was pretty good. But all the other things that we've been trying to get, we have had zero success with her. And she's going to probably run as a lowering crime, more cops, all of the things that have been going on. Right now, she's going around the county with the chief of police having discussions about how community policing and things like that to try to make it look like she cares. But we just went to one of those meetings, and a couple of months ago I went to another one, and they're really shams, And the NAACP has actually sponsored the last one, and it was terrible. There was absolutely no accountability. There's a number of things with the police in Prince George's County, the Brady list. Have you heard of that? That's a list of the cops that are so crooked they're not allowed to testify in court. And we finally got the list. It took us a while to get Also Brooks and Brave Boy to kind of release that list. But now, every time we have people who are arrested and facing the courts, we check the Brady list to see if those cops were involved in this, because they're so crooked even the court system won't let them testify. And then we have a whole other list of cops who have been, violent, have a lot of charges and things like that, called the Graham list. So we have a lot going on there, but we're not reversing any of that. And Also Brooks is not going to change anything. She's running for the Senate right now. But I think she really wants to be governor, so, keep your eyes out for her. And remember, Prince George's County, she didn't do anything for us. Yeah. Yeah, he was handcuffed and strapped into the front of the car, and he was moving. I think they claimed that he was reaching for the radio or something like that, but he couldn't have been doing much. This is very
out to support the struggle to get, Michael Owens in jail, keep him in jail forever, killer cops in cell blocks.
My check.
Mike, check.
Yeah, thank you so much, Linda, for sharing that. That just really disgusts me to actually know that you had a man in handcuffs that was executed. That is disgusting. And stuff like that really makes me feel like, to be honest, like I'm never going to get true accountability. I just really feel like that when they're especially looking at Dorothy Elliott, and it just said that you have family members that have been out here for a long time or whatever, and they don't get no type of accountability, but every now and then, when stuff gets too up, when we have uprisings, and that's when they listen to us. It's just sick, it's sad, and disgusting. So I want to open up the mic to see if anybody want to say anything. Mic check.
Mike, check. Anybody want to speak?
Don't get scared of this little thing. Anybody. Alright, I guess not. But again, we just gotta keep fighting for accountability. Nothing's gonna change until we change it. Ain't nobody's trying to change nothing. It's just like we in it alone. And I'm sending love to my sister Angela. Her brother was executed Timothy Fleming 2 years ago. Yesterday was his commemoration. And that's just sad. And she still don't have accountability. And the fact that the children that were living in his house at the time, 2 years ago, when their father was murdered, they're still living in that house. I know how hard it was and is for me to actually ride past the place where my brother was executed. But it's real disgusting. I can imagine living in a house where my brother was murdered at. And then we talk about little kids. Give me 1 second with the emergency vehicle. But yeah, again, we're talking about 2 babies living in a home. And that is just so sad. And something just needs to be done about all this police violence. It's just horrible. Police terrorism. It seems to me that the police department, no matter where they are, these different departments, they're the biggest gang in America. They're all gangs. Like, these are all kids that can get away. The only difference is they are legalized gangs. That's it. That's it. They have things on the books that cover their bloody murders or their brutal attacks. That's the only difference from a regular gang member. But then they always talk about, oh, we want to target the gangs and all this stuff. Take yourself to jail. Throw yourself underneath of the jail because y'all the biggest gang. Y'all the legalized crooks. Y'all the real gang. And it's just sad and disgusting. And until, like I said, this system get knocked down, rebuilt, the same thing is going to happen over and over again. We just want to keep fighting the same fight. I'm tired, y'all. I don't want to be like Miss Darby. I never thought that it'd be going on 10 years and ain't nobody go to jail. Nothing happened. Like I see small little changes and things like that, but not to me true accountability is having those 17 animals that brutally beat, stomp, kick, pepper spray team, beat my unarmed brother to death. I want every last one of them. I know we always just focus on Ruiz and Chapman and David Lewis. I want everybody, the females, I want everybody involved who laid a finger on my brother. My brother's birthday is coming up this month. So this is a real busy, hard month. It's so emotional. I got so many things in celebration that I'm doing. Just had my baby's prom. But all this stuff, my brother's missing. My cousin Tavon Anderson is missing. Nobody's talking about his case. It's like his case is getting cold. My cousin Tavon was brutally murdered right here in these dirty streets of Baltimore. And they're forcing my family into silence to trust the system. I don't trust it, but because I respect my family, I'm not going to get into details. But I'm telling y'all, when my time comes, I'm throwing everybody involved in this corruption underneath for the bus. They lucky they ain't let me represent my cousin Tavon Anderson, because y'all be shaking y'all head like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But it's coming. It's just sad that we have to go through this stuff repeatedly. And meanwhile, people that murdered our loved ones, their lives are going on. And they talk about, the media talks about who they want to talk about, but then there's other cases you don't hear nothing about, depending on who the murderer is, depending on the color of the murderer. They can have a red sheet as long as Green Mountain 33rd. But because they're white with the white privilege, they hide it and sweep it under the rug till the whole case get cold. It's just sad and disgusting. These are the times that we're in right now. And just having Mother's Day pass and a lot of mothers that lost their children to police violence or community violence, it's sad. It's sad. My heart really goes out to you, Queen. Like I thought about you and all the mothers that actually lost a child. Rather with you wouldn't care if it was through police violence, community violence. A murder is murder, but the only difference, and it's a big difference, when an officer murders you, guess what? If they get any time, you really lucky, because they don't even get time. They're literally paid. I call them criminals on payroll serving, cops. And they're not serving us. They serving themselves. They serving us brutality, but they protect it while they do all this stuff. And meanwhile, you keep having these different commissioners come out and just give a good mouthpiece and don't say nothing. That's all the commissioner ever did from day one when I met him was be a big good mouthpiece, make stuff sound so good. He could sell a cow some milk. He think he's slicker than a can of oil. But it's sad. It ain't more. He's not going to realize until God forbid, and I don't wish nothing bad on nobody, but until they throw him underneath for the bus, or until something bad happens to him, then he's going to realize, stop covering up for these snakes. Don't half walk. We not in time when you can just half walk. You have to pick and choose a side and stay on that side. And you need to be on the side of accountability, on the right side. Because in these times, there's a right side and there's a wrong side. It ain't no in between. And if you think you're in between, guess what? You're on the wrong side. So again, I want to offer the opportunity for anybody if they want to say anything, if they just joined, they want to say anything. I'm going to do another mic check. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. I don't need no microphone. Like, I don't usually talk about my situation, but in 2011, the same thing that y'all going through, I went through. The Baltimore City Police came in my house and put guns to my head. They charged me with terrorism. And y'all can find all this on record. It's all public record. I told Tawanda this when I met her. That's why I'm dealing with her. And I didn't get Tawanda, we didn't get to where we're at without pushing them buttons. You got a system of corruption. If y'all are learned people, y'all like to read, right? This is for the learning section. Go read a book called Operation Greylord. It happened in Chicago back in the 80s. Chicago is synonymous for corruption. And Baltimore ain't nothing but a small template of what they're doing. All right? The jump out boys and all that, back in the 80s, I used to sell drugs. I used to do all the things that y'all was scared of. All right? I was that other guy. You can Google search it. Territorial drug disputes. I didn't rob women. I didn't sell drugs to pregnant women and old people. I had rules to that shit. They ain't got rules no more. All right? The police participated in it because they was part of my clients. This gun task force, they didn't never get charged with murder, but they participated in murders. You know what I'm saying? They participated in murders. A lot of these murders that's going on in Baltimore are not done by individuals. They are done by police officers. Okay? And I'm saying this out loud because I'm not Robert Clay. I ain't the shooter. I'm not scared of the police. Y'all have seen me walk up to the police and say what I got to say. The only thing between me and them is air and opportunity. In 2023, they better suck it up. Wherever I go, I'm going to pull their card. Because I'm 63 years old. I ain't got nothing to lose. You can't do nothing to me you ain't never did before. I'm not Emmett Till. I don't stutter when I talk. I've been watching you kill black people since I came on this earth. So I'm supposed to be that change. You understand? So I support anybody that's doing this. And there's only one thing that irks me is y'all talk about moms of murdered victims. Well, goddammit, they had fathers too. We had fathers that made them children. Yeah. And y'all keep forgetting about us. Y'all ain't the only motherfuckers that dealing with that pain. You got fathers locked up with their grandchildren in jail because of the system is designed to take the males out of this equation. Mayor Brandon Scott, Nick Mosby, Mayor Mosby, you got a black city ran by black people, and it ain't nothing but plantation politics. It's plantation politics. You got overseers of the plantation. Nick Mosby and Marilyn Mosby and all of them ain't doing what they're doing without white cooperation. You understand what I'm saying? The Department of Justice participated in this. As long as you locking up black people, it's cool. Black people ain't the only ones that's doing drugs. If you looked at the last campaign in 2023, all they talked about was squeegee kids and Marilyn Mosby. Squeegee kids and Marilyn Mosby. That's it. They was black, and that was it. That's how Ivan Bates got in the office. Then Ivan Bates made the movie We Got a Monster. Well, Ivan Bates, you a motherfucking beast. You a beast, because we've been getting state's attorneys in office since we got Bernstein out. And that nan state's attorney has picked up a case against white people or against the corrupt system. Them police ain't the only ones committing crimes. You got judges. You got judges. You feel me? You got judges. Like I said, look up Operation Greylord. They send judges to jail. They send white people to jail in Illinois. Y'all don't do that shit in Baltimore. Y'all just auctioning off black people. We traded the penitentiary for the plantation, cotton for cocaine, and this is the cotton field right here. This is the cotton field right here. And that's the cash crop right there. From 12 to 22 at $40,000 to $60,000 a year. Now, if you ain't picking them off the streets, what is you doing? It's education instead of incarceration, books over bars. Because this system of education they got ain't nothing but the school to prison pipeline. The school to prison pipeline. Now, if anybody got a problem with anything I say, I am not hard to find. I'm the most accessible black man in Baltimore. I'm the most unarrestable black man in Baltimore. Because if you take me to jail, we got to go to court. We go to court. We're going to take this phone. This phone got Google on it. It got Google Drive, got Google Search. It got all that shit. Everything I've been doing since I started this. Social media for social change. We don't need 1 million people to march. We need 1 million people to pay attention. You feel me? We need 1 million people to pay attention. We need to be proactive instead of reactive. Because we always known to tear some shit up. We tore down the statues. Let's tear down the system. Tear down the system. Send some judges and some lawyers to jail. Stop holding these motherfuckers up on this pedestal that they don't deserve. And don't be scared. Don't be scared. Because they live off that fear. And when you show them that you ain't scared, that's when they fearful. You ain't never seen me run with a crew or a posse. You don't see me shut shit down. You feel me? Take me to court. We go to court, we get a trial. I get a jury of 12. Let me tell 12 motherfuckers what I got to say. Let 12 motherfuckers tell me I'm wrong. I don't think so. You ain't locked me up in 12 years. I must be doing something right. I'm left-handed. I ain't gonna never do the right thing. Mike Jack!
And I'm glad that my brother Shorty has mentioned about, like, what he said, like, we always do, like, always talk about the mothers grieving. But again, we have to talk about the whole entire family. So not only the mothers grieve, the fathers grieve, the sons grieve, the daughters grieve, everybody in that family grieves. Everybody from the eldest to the youngest, even little babies grieve. Just suffering from lack of love or distress. Like, it is real, so we do have to consider everybody. You know, it's just like we just think and we say things sometimes without even, like, seriously, like, considering everybody. But it's not that we don't love the dead, because it takes two, you know, to make a family. And it takes a family and a village to raise children. And it's just sad, and I just really feel sorry for our teenagers. Because right now I feel as though they're being targeted. They're being targeted. They went from with some great squeegees, which was a bunch of teenagers, to now every teenager is day, they can't go down the harbor, they can't do this, they can't do that. They got all this foolishness. All this foolishness said. And meanwhile, they got mommies and daddies working 2 or 3 jobs just to try to pay the bills to survive out here. And then now we got a system that say now if the child don't do something, grab the mother and the father. Like we just in a messed up society, just like Shorty just said. I could have said no better. We need to knock this whole system down, y'all. It's time, like it's time. We're talking about over 400 and something years of dirt. How you gonna clean it up? And like my brother Shay always said, you cannot clean a dirty house with a dirty mop and broom. You can't do it. It's impossible. All you doing is spreading corruption, dirty filth all around the house. We need to start all over and build it back up again. That's the only way. That's the only way. And in this fight, I learned it's like no wrong or right when we all learn it. Ain't nobody pick and choose to be put in something like this. I never would have thought my worst nightmare, not saying I'm better than nobody, but I never thought that I would be out here being an activist or somebody fighting because I used to hear about people that are like us every day before my brother was murdered, and I always felt sorry for them. I always showed them empathy, but I never thought it would be me and my family. Never, never. I won't wish this kind of pain on nobody's family. Nobody deserves to be going through this, y'all. And then nobody's helping us. And then you got all these politicians, all they doing is playing games. They worry about a paycheck. They don't care about the people. They do not care about the people.
They got a vested
Meanwhile,
interest in it.
children are dying, mothers are crying, fathers are crying, the whole family, y'all. Families are hurting every night. I get tired of watching the news every single day, all day long, people getting gunned down. Right here in Baltimore. It's not a Baltimore thing, actually it's a worldwide thing. It's city to city. You can go to Philly, you can go to New York, it's happening everywhere. And it's just sad. You can't even stand inside of a train station and wait on the train without somebody pushing you to your death for no reason. These are the times we're in. It's sad and disgusting. You can't even have an argument with your neighbor, and then the neighbor come out and shoot the mother, the son, the daughter. Like it's sad. These are the times that we're in. I never would have thought I would have seen these kind of times, and it makes me think, what kind of times did my mother and them see? What kind of times did my grandmother and them see? When my grandmother was living, when they was going through slavery and things like that. This is modern day slavery. It's just sad and disgusting, y'all. So I'm gonna open up the mic to see if anybody want to say anything. Mic check.
Mic check!
My name is Kalia. I'm a revolutionary communist of the Progressive Labor Party that fights for working class solidarity everywhere. Because of Shorty, honestly, I'm inspired. And I feel like this is just a part of what Tawanda's talking about, the times that we're in. This isn't an original poem, but this is by a man named Don West, who is a pro-communist fighter and writer, called Question Mark. Why? The question mark. Dangerous. Why? Why hunger? Why poverty? Why slavery? Why so few rich people? Why do those who work less get more? Why do those who work more get less? Why so many poor people? Why? Why war when men love peace? Why must a Georgia plowboy go shoot a brown boy 5,000 miles from the furrow he plows? Why do corporations make profits from war, from the blood shed on battlefields? The question mark shakes the world, sows seeds of rebellion among slaves and freedom germs, sprouts stout weeds in the field of holy war. Why? Why blind obedience? Why not scrape away scales of prejudice and see who fastens them there? Mic check!
Mic check!
Yes, mic check. So I'm gonna open up the mic again. Anybody want to say anything? Add anything? Mic check.
Mic check!
Hello, I just got off the bus and I just want to commend you. Because when my brother was killed by the police in Philadelphia, wouldn't nobody take my case. And he was killed in restraints in the police car. When he got to the hospital, he was dead. How do you overdose in restraints? How do you do that? My other brother, how do you die of natural causes at 44? In prison. And when we got his body, he was beaten. Okay? So something needs to be done.
Yes.
Something needs to be done.
Yes, definitely.
And when my son was killed last year, I said that I was going to be out here doing what you're doing. And I ain't made it out here yet.
You being there. You being there.
But I'm so proud of you
Yes.
for being right here doing what you're doing. Standing up for your brother. And more of us need to be out here standing up for our people.
Yes.
See, we get mad when a person of a different color kill us. But we don't get mad when we kill us. We need to be out here all the time. We need to take our people back. We need to take our children back. See, you said you don't know what it was like when your mother knew. Well, I'm one of them people I was out here, and it wasn't like that. A village, we raised our
Yes,
children.
Lord.
We didn't say, oh, you couldn't touch my child. Don't you do that. We didn't do that back in the day. We all raised our children
Yes, together.
together. And that's what we need to get back to. All of us raising our children together. Stop letting the government raise our kids.
Government raise our kids.
Because that's what's happening.
Yes.
They going to group homes. They going to jail. And all they doing is becoming better criminals.
That's it. That's it.
That's by design.
They told us we couldn't chastise our children no more.
Because they wanted to do it.
They wanted us to have timeouts. What the timeouts did? The timeouts now getting people carjacked, robbed, kids standing on the corners. They not listening to the parents. They being disrespectful. But let me tell you something. According to juvenile justice, as long as you just whip that ass and don't leave no bruises, parents, take your children back. Take your children back. Get them off the streets. Take your children back. Don't let the streets have them.
Right.
Get our kids back, y'all. Because Chapman, I sing at people's funerals. And I sung at 16-year-old funerals 3 days in a row at the funeral home. The streets is taking our kids, and so is the graveyards. Take our kids back, y'all.
Yeah, take them back. You heard it from a mother. Take them back. Take them back. That's why they took them from us. That's why they took them from us. And I always said, with the welfare system, it was backwards. Farewell. Farewell to a strong, structured home. And they call it, a program the way it's going to put families together, a family investment program. They're not investing in the family. They're investing in splitting the family up. That's what they do, because if you have two incomes living in their house, guess what? They're going to deny you. So how is it in a family investment center? We need to take our children back. The Queen said no better. And I just wanted to ask my sister, Nicole, if you have a song or anything with your heart right now to make the Queen feel all right, she can just hear you. Mic check. Mic check.
I wasn't even prepared to say, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Bless me. Through the pain. And he blessed me through all the rain. When Jesus heard my story,
all this good. He blessed me. He understood. So, Jesus, please help me now. 'Cause Jesus, I don't know how, but He blessed me. So shine me high, 'cause He blessed me, and I don't know why. Yeah. Oh my God. So, Queen, you wanted to sing? Take me to, don't have much to bring. My heart's so easy. It's my offering. Take me to truth is I'm tired. Options of I'm trying to pray. Lord, where are you? I'm all churched out, hurt and abused. Can't think what's left to
We all family out here. We all family.
take me to the king. That was my son. It was so good. Don't have words to bring. Heart torn to pieces. It's my offering. Take me to
Yes, oh my God. And that was so beautiful. Oh my God, that was so beautiful. And I just really feel that these grounds are so sacred, and that's the reason why I love being outside. Like you meet so many people that was so meant for you to meet. And it was so meant for us to be right here at this exact time, at this exact sacred space to meet her. And literally, when she was singing that song, the reason why I got so many tears, that was the first song that they sung at my brother's funeral. And then every week, for some reason, after that, my family, every time we turned on the radio, that song would come on. And for this queen to just be out here and to choose that exact song, I just want to thank you. This is why we're out here, for the mothers, for the fathers. Because Shorty also lost his son. He had to bury his son. I feel like no family member should have to bury no one, but especially not mothers burying their children, fathers burying their children. They should be burying us. They should be burying us. So I just thank you, my queen, for just having the strength, both of y'all, my leave. And then the sad part, you know it's the system. It's so dirty. Like, you lost somebody to police brutality, and you lost somebody to community violence. It just never stops. It just never. Somebody hold that bus. Hold that bus, please. Hold that bus. Yeah, Shorty, go catch it, Shorty. Hold that bus. Hold that bus. Yeah, thank you. Literally, she heard us and she got off of the bus to come out. Literally, she was already on the bus. She got off the bus to uplift her loved one's name. This is what West Wednesday is. It's not about nothing else. And we always need to be reminded. This is West Wednesday, y'all. And it's not just about Tyrone West. It's for everybody. It's a healing space. This is what it's about. It's about love, respect, integrity, being there. This is what it's about. And this is why I so miss being outside. Even though I know when we're online, we can communicate to different people around the world. That's all good and fine. But it's nothing like being boots on the ground in person. Because everybody don't have access to the internet, or everybody's not on. People, especially with everything that's going on, people don't even want to see stuff on social media. Don't even really want to turn on the TV. But they have to be outside, and we used to be out here no matter what the weather was. It could have been a rainstorm today. If this was West Wednesday, we need to go back to the times before the pandemic. Understand that we have to keep ourselves safe and do what the government wanted us to do and do what was best for our family. Because I'm not even going to lie. Before we decided to go indoors, I had to say a prayer. Because I didn't want to take anything unsafe home to my family. Because if it would have been me, I would have still been out here. I wouldn't have cared if I would have got corona 30 times. I wouldn't have cared about that. Because of these mothers are hurting people that just want to speak. People suffer in silence. And that's why I always open up the mic to anybody. My heart goes out to that mother, and not just her, to anybody that's hurting. Because it's real pain. Anytime you have a human get off of a bus, it could have been a chance. She could have just sat next bus. It could have been delayed. But this is what West Wednesday is about. And tonight, I just want to do it something special. And we're gonna do the sad list, and we're gonna kind of wrap up. And normally we was like kind of debating whether we should uplift the names, but I feel compelled tonight to uplift the names. And please don't judge our hearts, because I know that everybody's name is not on this list. And I apologize if this list is traumatizing to you. I apologize. So if this is the time that you want to step away, if this is the time y'all hear, you may don't want to hear it, I'll give you, 2 minutes to maybe leave the space or step away. But we're going to read a list of police brutality list. And I don't know if they have the community violence list, but we're going to, just before we read the names, I want to hold 2 minutes of silence. 2 minutes for that mother, for any father, for any child, for anybody that's going through something, suffering in silence. And sometimes people suffer for years, and you wouldn't even know it. So let's just take 2 minutes of silence
with the sad list. Mic check.
Mic check.
Trying to see the time. Anybody heard the time? Because it's not showing in my phone in a while. 7:35. Can you let me know what 7:37 is? Thank you, everybody, again, for holding space. If you said a prayer, that was fine. If you just kept us in positive thoughts, that's even better. Thank you, guys, just for tonight. And again, my heart goes out to that mother, to any mother, father, son, anybody on the surrounding of my voice that's suffering through something. And sometimes it don't even have to be about violence. It could be anything. It could be about your relationship. It could be about your chains being strange. Anything that you're going through, our heart goes out to you. And if any way that I can help you in any way, please reach out. So we're gonna do a mic check, and like I said, this list is only with the victims that were lost to gun violence. And we know that more victims survive. I'm sorry, give me 1 second, please. We know that more victims survive than the ones that have fatalities. So my heart goes out to surviving victims, and you too will survive through this. So again, I'm gonna hand the mic over. Mic check.
Mic check.
Good evening, everyone. Unfortunately, we live in a world where, am I on the right spot? Thank you. We live in a world where the pigs that enforce this system ceaselessly take lives and commit atrocities, and it falls to me this evening to talk about the people that were most recently killed by the police, the most recent stolen lives. Since West Wednesday last week, they've updated the list for just 5 more days. And in those 5 days from May the 9th to May the 13th, the police killed 9 more people that are reported. And as Tawana pointed out, that doesn't include people who were tased to death, beat to death. It only includes those shot to death. We start in Tempe, Arizona, and we end in Houston, Texas. And if we can, in 5 cases, the people have been named. In the other 4 cases, the names have not yet been released. For those victims whose names are not known, if we could all say cell blocks to killer cops and Ashe, meaning let it be so. That is to say, let it be so that the killer cops are in jail. So on May the 9th, in Tempe, Arizona, an unidentified Native American man, cell block for killer cops, Ashe. Again on May the 9th, this time in Jefferson County, Illinois, 23 years old, killed by police, Brandon Griffin. On May the 11th in Kissimmee, Florida, killed by police, 83 years old, Robert Layton. In Denham Springs, Louisiana, May 11th again, 30 years old, killed by police, Justin Roberts. Once again, on May the 11th, in Alexandria, Virginia, 38 years old, Brandon Lamont. May the 12th, in Irving, Texas, a man who has not yet been identified, blocks the killer cops. Ashe. May the 13th, in Sonoya, Georgia, 76 years old, killed by police, Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Cell blocks for killer cops.
Cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe.
Ashe. May the 13th, in Fort Worth, Texas, a man who has not yet been identified, blocks for killer cops. Ashe. And the final life will uphold once again, May the 13th. This was in Houston, Texas, not yet identified, cell blocks for killer cops. Ashe. Mic check.
Mic check. And then, for the community violence, we don't have a list, but anybody that's suffering through any type of loss, we just feel sorry. We're praying for you, the ones that pray, the ones that don't pray. We're sending positive vibes and everything to you. Just remember, live to love to live. I love you all, and we're not going to stop. We can't stop.
We won't stop.
So killer cops
In cell blocks.
we can't stop.
We won't stop.
So killer cops
In cell blocks.
we can't stop.
We won't stop.
So killer cops
In cell blocks.
we can't stop.
We won't stop.
So killer cops
In cell blocks.
like just remember, live to